Hello and welcome. I am your host of What Are You Reading? What Are You Writing? Author Karen E. Osborne. I have five novels out. The latest is Justice for Emerson. I am so glad that you're here. This is a space for readers and writers to come together and talk about books. I met this wonderful author at a book fair. And, we're always so happy to see, buyers. That's what we're hoping people will come and buy our books. But we love meeting each other as well. And I was so happy to meet Heather Gorlitz Scott. Hey, Heather.
Hello. Hi,
So
Karen.
you could just look at her and see why I was intrigued, why I wanted to go and say, like, what's going on over here? What you doing? And so I'm just going to read you her bio because it just really gives you a sense of this amazing woman, right? So it says, Heather Gorlitz Scott was born somewhere between orange groves and raised amongst the alligator people of America's most phallic states, Australia Light. There, she and her sentient hair have taken to drawing a land of make-believe to live in so that she did not become one of the zombie horde. This hobby turned fully professional after she and her husband spawned a swamp elf that constantly needs to be fed. In addition to publishing her own line of comics, Scott has provided illustrations for gaming companies, which she names a number of them that I don't actually recognize any of them. Not wanting to leave, because, I'm just not into gaming, but she is. Not wanting to leave the make believe adventures of her early life behind, she turned to writing them down, process that was significantly faster and more effective than interpretive dance, which she is terrible. Scott continues to write, draw, and stare at spaceships from home in Orlando, Florida to this day. Hey, somebody has to live here. Two somebodies. So she just cracks me up. She is funny and talented, and she's an artist. I hope you brought some of your art for us to look at.
I did. Actually, I have it. I just got it back from the gallery show, so let me pull it up here.
We're going to talk about books, but I want you to see her beautiful art.
Yeah. Ah, oh my gosh. Okay. So this is one of the pieces I had in Sensory Overload. So we
Oh,
last year we did Halloween gift cards or like how, instead of Christmas cards. So we did Halloween
yeah,
cards, and this is what I painted for that. So
nice, nice.
yeah,
Ghoulish.
yep. And then I think if this is the right one, nope, that's not it. We talked about this one, yeah. So which is the mermanity
Wow.
that my daughter had suggested I paint.
Look
So we
at
talked about
that.
that one at Read It, Write It.
Yes, yes. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's start there. Let's start with talking about your artist life before we dive into your writing life. So, how did you get started? Just tell us a little bit about you as the drawer.
Well, I've literally been doing art my entire life. I think my parents told me that I used to steal my dad's like duct tape and electrical tape and would wad it up into little balls and then stick it to paper to make like collages or whatnot. And then from there, I started drawing and all that stuff. Oh gosh, about middle school, they start asking those questions. What do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I want to be an artist of some sort. So yeah, then I went to school, for that at Valencia College. I, pursued a fine arts degree and a graphic design degree as a dual major. And afterwards, dropped it all completely. Art school's really good at killing your inspiration.
Mm, mhm.
So, I hopped around, like I worked a retail job in the mall for about 10 years. And, you know, my husband, he convinced me to work on a webcomic with him. So I was doing that, but I don't know, there's like almost no inspiration on my end. I was just happy to help him.
Yeah.
And then I got a call center job, and there ended up being like this whole debacle after, uh, I was pregnant with my daughter, the swamp elf. Um, and I ended up being let go from there, and was like, well, I have a set of skills I can work on at home. Let me do this. And so almost overnight, I ended up taking all of what I learned in art school and going professional with it. And so here I am. Um,
Wow. Do you
yeah.
mostly draw things that are funny?
Um, no, I I just draw whatever I feel. A lot of times it's inspired by music. Um,
Mm.
Within that time frame, I had also worked on my fantasy story, Shavoa, as a comic that I was releasing at conventions. And somewhere along the line, I was just like, shortly after, I think it was the sixth or seventh issue of it, 12 pages. It took me a year to draw. I was just like, man, I'm really slow. I'll be dead before I finish this darn thing. Uh, I switched to prose, and that's how I ended up writing and doing a novel series, and how I met you at Read It, Write It, and
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah, a
tell
lot
us
of
about
my
the,
art is for that now.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm so
Oh no, it's
sorry.
okay. It's okay.
So you illustrate your books.
I illustrate for my books. I haven't actually been able to get the illustrations into my books, but I post them along with the scenes. Like I post the illustrations along
Mm,
with the scenes
mm,
to my
mhm,
Patreon. So
mm.
all
Okay.
my subscribers there can see it. Mhm.
So tell us about the books then first.
Okay, yeah. So in a nutshell, it's about an immortal fugitive who has to deal with the consequences of angering a son, a goddess, and a lover. And it's been a lot of fun to write. So that particular story started off as kind of like Mortal Kombat fan fiction or
Mm,
game fiction. Like we all wanted to
mhm.
make Mortal Kombat 3. So yeah, and e- oh my gosh, I don't have many hands. I need more hands. So this is the first book in the series. This is Shavoa Sunrise. And that one's about a teenage girl trying to escape an evil sorcerer and running headlong into a secret rebellion that makes that hard. And then all of that leads to said consequences I mentioned before that happen in this one, which is Shavoa Zenith. And I'm
Yeah.
working on the third one now.
Wow,
So,
that is wonderful. What age group is this? Is this adults? Is this children's literature? What is this?
so it starts as young adult and just kind of broadens out from there, or ages up from there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So adults enjoy your books as well as young adults, but older people enjoy your books. You have
Right.
fans of all ages.
Yeah. So yeah, oh gosh, how to say it's not spicy. I don't write romance. So falling into the young adult category felt a little weird. But
Mm,
after uh discovering Brandon Sanderson, who I like our storytelling is very similar. I
mm.
was like, oh, okay, so he's also young adult, so I don't feel so bad about it anymore. But it's definitely fantasy, straight up, fantasy for grown-ups and
Yeah.
more mature minded people.
So is there a main, like the title character, is that your protagonist?
Yep.
The
Yeah, her name's
title.
Dragonera.
Yeah,
And
so tell us about her. What do you love about her? What is she like? Just give us a little sense of her.
hmm, she's hmm, reactionary. Um, she's I like one of the things I like about her is I just was like, she's overpowered. We're just gonna go straight into that. So she's a very, very powerful entity in this series. But she gets in her own way with that, basically. And in a way, it's kind of like how to say, like a metaphor for, for having skill and not being able to use it, I guess. So, like,
Mm,
sort of a throwback to me having all that artistic ability and not doing really anything with it.
yeah,
So,
not having the right outlet for
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
And
a religious parallel too, but if I even try to explain it, it'll spoil everything. So I'm not.
oh, okay, Uh, and when you think about her, how powerful she is, and not able to use her power the way she wants to, is there a characteristic about her that you really like? You know, tenacity or perseverance? And is there a characteristic about her that really annoys the heck out of you?
Actually, in general, she kind of annoys the heck out of me. Um, she's not how to say, a self-insert kind of character at all. I'm always fighting with her for her narrative. Um,
I
so
totally understand that.
Uh, but I do like to throw her into situations in my head. Like some of these haven't even ended up in the book. So I throw her into situations in my head to kind of understand her better. Like I'll have
Hmm.
her go grocery shopping in my head. There's no need for that in the stories, you know? So and she surprises me often with the things that she buys. Like I didn't expect her to be a complete nut about sweets. Um, but not like super sugary sweets because she kind of hates like really sweet fruity things. She more likes more of the hmm, like baked goods kind of sweets.
Mm,
So
mm. I hear
um
you.
she hates
Isn't
coffee.
that
I love it.
isn't that funny though? And this is true for just every writer that I've spoken to, and it's true for myself as a novelist, is that our characters have a mind of their own. And
Yeah.
and I love that you put them in situations just to see how they react so you can better understand her, even though it doesn't go into the book. I love that idea. Because, my first book, I had two sisters, half sisters, and they would argue with each other. And like, I had to pull over, on the road. They're like talking. They're not even talking to me. They're talking to each other. Yeah, they're real and they have minds of their own. So, so you say you're working on the third
Yep,
book
that'll
in
be
this,
Shavoa Sunset.
yeah, and Sunset because it's the last book, or
Yes. Yeah, it's the
yeah,
last book in her story. I may branch out and do like spin-offs because I really do enjoy the setting that I came up with for this. So,
yeah. So tell me about world building because you had to world build, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So what's your process like doing that? What does
I
that look like?
honestly I daydream a lot. So,
Hmm.
being a visual artist, there's a lot of things that I would just paint and be like, ooh, and so it started off as a desert setting. Because like I would see pictures of sunsets and things in the desert and I was just like, wow, God, that's so pretty. So that's how that started. Then I was just like, well, this is a massive desert, so how would the rest of the world work in order to encompass a desert this big, but
Mm,
still not be, a desert planet? Because I kind of hate that concept too, like having one climate per planet that's so Star
mm,
Wars or Dune or Waterworld,
mhm.
I was like, nah. Um, so I found a terrain generator for that was it was something like a agency working with NASA put out. And it was so that they could punch in like observations to guess what the planets that they discovered might look like based off of, you know, what they could see through the telescopes and stuff at the time. And so I was just like, lots of desert, desert everywhere. And so it ended up making a like one continent, huge ocean planet. And I was like, I love this. I'm gonna roll with it. So and then I don't have it on me actually. I should print that out. But I made a world map for it based off of that. Like I painted one. And if you go to worldofshavoa.com, it is in the gallery there. But I don't have a printout of it right now. But
Yeah. Well,
that, yeah.
we're gonna send everybody to your website so they can see your amazing art. When I met Heather, she had a lot of her art behind her, like a whole gallery behind her, and it was just, it just pulls you in your art. You know what it does? I think it makes somebody want to ask questions. It makes
And
somebody,
I love answering them.
it engages people. And isn't that what we want? In our art and our right, all the things we do, we want to engage people. And that's what I found about your compelling about your art is that it wasn't just like, oh, that's lovely. That would look nice in my living room. It was like, wow, what's going on here? What is this? How did you, yeah, which is very, very engaging. So
Uh,
so as you're working on your new book, like how long does it take you to write one of them?
so I seem to average about 5 years. I'm a really slow writer too, but I'm a faster writer than I am a comic artist. So, but
So how far into the 5 years are you then?
about two.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna have to wait 3 years. So you have time, people, to read the first two books and then to bug Heather about when is the next one coming out. She'd love to hear from you. So this is What Are You Reading? What are you writing? And you mentioned one author, which I'd like you to repeat, who, really helped you. But could you tell us a little bit about the author that had the biggest impact on your writing?
Oh, so that's a how to say a multifaceted thing. I guess in terms of writing style, I write a lot like Piers Anthony, and he has a series called The Incarnations of Immortality, which sort of let me open my mind to this interesting idea of concepts being made flesh, which ended up being a pretty potent content, thing in my stories. Like, for example, I have a sinister sentient son. Her name's Oriana, and there's two other sons in the setting, and one's her husband, Aver, and Aideen, which is their daughter. So, and they're sons. They're literally the suns in the sky of this setting, but they think, they feel, yeah.
Wow.
So,
I-
and they're
and
major.
you said that this is multi-layered, so there's another author that inspired you differently?
Yeah, the one who got me into fantasy in general. I I love her writing. It was fun, and her name's Anne McCaffrey. She wrote a series called The Dragon Riders of Pern, and it how to say Before I read any of her books, I thought fantasy was basically just fairy tales. I didn't think that it could be like I didn't even think that there could be more to it. Like I hadn't read Tolkien at that point.
Mm.
And so I, just was very enthralled and surprised by the fact that she had this other planet altogether that wasn't a sci-fi setting because uh, the science fiction aspect of it had already been ancient and old and is not part of the world necessarily, but it didn't have magic exactly either. It had dragons and fire
Mm.
lizards and other, dragon-like beings that had to go fight this mystical, weird thread that would fall into the atmosphere and scorch parts of the planet. And so if the dragons didn't set the thread on fire, the planet would die, and it was it was neat.
It is
And
neat. I
yeah.
love dragons.
Yeah, it's a wonderful series to read. And then you hear like there are other series that I have read that I'm sure a lot of the readers have read that have taken the telepathic and emotional link from between human and dragon and applied it to their stories. Like that's where it started, is Anne McCaffrey's books. So
Wow. Wow. Okay. That is good to know. Have you read anything recently that you
oh,
could recommend to our audience?
so many things. I am a voracious reader. So right now I'm in the middle of three books. Um, I am listening to The Faceless Old Woman That Secretly Lives in Your Home by Joseph Fink. That's a part of his Welcome to Night Vale universe, uh, which is also a podcast. It's strange. It's a pirate story and it's a lot of fun. Uh,
Hmm.
and I the character is very much an anti-hero, and it's interesting to, you know, really empathize with a character like that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yep,
One more.
then one more. Okay. One more. So I'm gonna actually rewind then. And I think everyone needs to read a it's a fiction piece, but this isn't a fantasy necessarily. It's a modern day fiction called The Librarian of Burned Books. And
Mhm.
it's a multi-generational story. So it's told kind of through the points of view of a couple of women who lived through World War II in Germany. Um, one of them's daughter and then a granddaughter who was just like, we need to get, all of these women back together, and it's amazing. I don't,
I've heard of this one. Yeah, it's highly acclaimed.
yeah, justifiably, it's so good.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, these
And
have
it
been one. Yeah, go ahead.
I like it's got these the small scenes that have a huge impact. Like it's all small scenes that have a huge impact and it feels super relatable that way. And I won't lie, like the culmination of small scenes for the one big scene had me in tears.
Wow. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Yeah. It's been one of those books that have been out there for me. So now I have to thank you. It
No,
needs to
no
be
problem.
on my to be read into my to be read pile. So now you've gotten everybody really falling in love with you. They're very intrigued. Don't tell your husband. And so you can buy her books, right? You can buy them any place that you buy books. You can borrow the books wherever you borrow books. If you don't see them, ask. Ask at the library, ask at Barnes and Noble, ask at your local bookstore. That makes such a difference for us. And then you'd have the books to read. But if people want to just be in touch with you, they want to go see your art. They want to go see the outtakes of your stories and the art that goes with it. And how can they find you?
Well, you can find me at dragonmun.com. It's Dragon Mun because I like to paint mundane dragons. So it's dragonmun.com. Yeah. And
MUN
then
dot com.
Shavoa has a website for itself that's separate from Dragonmun, which is my portal to everything me. Shavoa's website again is World of Shavoa. That's world of SIVOA.com. And I
Excellent.
do want to go back to that your pitch to ask at the libraries. Definitely ask at the libraries. I have set it up so that on the catalog that they order from, it's free for them. So
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
because
so everybody.
I grew up in a library basically, and I love libraries and I want to support them wholeheartedly. So they do not have to pay to have my book in their catalog and their
Oh,
stack.
that would be such a good thing to do, folks. Just go to your local library, tell them that it's free. They'll look
Mhm.
her up and then they can get it there. That is a that's a wonderful gift to all those people who can afford to buy books, buy books, buy books. And they go to the libraries. I grew up in the library too, 7 books a week. That's all you were allowed to borrow at the time. And so every week I borrowed 7 books and brought them home. And that opened up a world for me as a child.
Oh
Libraries are
man, mine was way
amazing.
stricter. They only let me have three at a time.
Ah, yeah, it was 7.
That's why I was there so often.
And I took a little girl who was a friend's daughter, and she'd never been to the library. And we got her a library card, and she was like, "Oh, Miss Karen, this is a wonderful, what a wonderful." She's looking around. So then I had to
Oh
take
my
her
God,
to a
that's so cute.
bookstore too. There's another wonderful place. Let's go visit that. And she walked in and, oh. So important. Libraries, bookstores, we love you. We love you. Thank you so much, Heather, for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And thank all of you for watching. And I hope that you will go and you'll look at Heather's art. You'll go to the library and ask for her books. You'll go to the bookstore and buy her books. You'll write reviews. Reviews are so important. And we thank you in advance for writing gushing reviews. If you don't like something, it's not, don't write a review. That's not nice. But if you love it, don't write it. If you don't like it, then don't write anything, right? But if you love it, gush away because we so appreciate it. And when you do get in touch with Heather, please tell her that you met her on What Are You Reading? What Are You Writing? Until next week, everybody, have a great week. Thank you. Bye bye.